Okay.
Hi, everyone. Agnes here. Welcome to an interview with someone that you have met multiple times before. Welcome to you, Messi.
Thank you, Agnes. It's nice to be here. Thank you.
Oh,
It's been a
it's so
while.
good. Yes, it's so good to see you. And just let people know where you are in the world at the moment.
Currently, I'm in Sweden,
Okay.
in Stockholm, a little bit outside of Stockholm, but in Stockholm, Sweden.
Okay. Nice. And you recently, we hadn't had contact for a little while, and you surprised me with an amazing bunch of photographs. And I'm not going to say what it was until you describe it. But do you want to go back on the timeline a little ways and share what it is that you were you trying to manifest this? Did it just happen? How did it all fall into place? Your wonderful success story.
So if you remember, I met you a few years back and I was going through a lot of things. I mean, a lot of people have their awakening, we call it that, when they go through a hard time in their life. For some it manifests through relationships, for some it manifests through a job or health, whatever. For me, it came through learning to love myself, which is through a relationship. I discovered that I was terrible at loving myself. with my I was terrible at that, and obviously I went through the whole learning to love yourself, the whole spiritual journey. That was when I met you. I think that I actually got, like, I was going out with my ex and I got back together with my ex. That's actually my first success story. And yeah, I got back together with my ex and I did a lot of work during that time. And obviously with time we discovered most of the relationship was based on ego, young kids, and there was still a lot of work to do. And yeah, we parted our ways and I was happy. And I think we did another interview where I dated, I went into the exploring of manifesting whoever you want, being in contact with people that could high status, could have high status or low status, like any type of person, calling people into your existence, not controlling them. Obviously, there are so many people out there who think they can control people, with manifestation and stuff. It's just choosing the type of person you would like to experience in your reality. So, meaning like have based on your state, based on the person that you are, having, experiencing that. So if you are in a very low state, that is a needy state, which I was at the beginning of my relationship, I did attract a very narcissistic person that fed off of my neediness. I did a lot of work on that. And then I had my next boyfriend who helped me grow a lot, learn a lot because, he had a lot of attention. He was famous. So that helped me work on my jealousy. It helped me work on a lot of things. And yeah, after that I think I took a break. I said I really like that. Dating that person took out a lot of unhealed things from my childhood. you know I would extremely get jealous, I would extremely get frustrated, because I didn't have the attention. Like I said, I was seeking attention from someone who already had a lot of attention, so he didn't know how to give it. So that I think helped me grow a lot. And I said, you know what? I'm going to take a break. I'm going to learn to love myself. I'm going to do everything that I would like to do when I'm in relationship with myself. So I went on solo trips. I went to beautiful countries. Even in Italy, I explored. I traveled, I traveled to Sicily. I did solo trips. I did a lot. I read a lot of books, and I read a lot of historical romances where I had to rewrite the thoughts about men. Yeah. So that is the base of my past, I guess. I tried to learn that men can be loving, men can be gentle, men can be not all of these things that we watch in the movies, and they can actually take care of you if you know how to take care of yourself, and if you know how to love yourself. If you come within the state of, where you're neutral and the other person is neutral, and then you're exchanging neutral energy, not when you're needy and the other person is narcissistic, obviously, and then you're switching up negative and like bad energy. So yeah, I worked on myself, I think, for about a year and a half, maybe two, I think. Yeah, I worked on my career. I went back to school. I went back for another degree in engineering. Did a lot of work on myself. I will be honest, a lot of work. I didn't know that I had really bad image about men, but it might have come from my past, maybe from my father, or maybe from the movies that we watch, like women trying to change the man. I did a lot of work, a lot of work. And yeah, after 2 years, I think, more or less, I don't know, I'm not so sure about the time, I said to myself, I'm ready. I am ready. I feel like I'm finishing up my 20s. Um, so I am ready to meet a person who is ready to meet me, a person who is, I think I actually said that as well in one of our group meetings. I said, someone who's ready, someone who's spiritual. They don't have to be like spiritual, but someone who accepts that world as well, that side of reality, and someone who is loving, someone who is, you know, someone who can take care of me, but who like who doesn't have to do it, like who loves to do it, who is there. Yeah. And that is how I ended up meeting. There's a very, very beautiful, funny story behind it. Uh, I could tell I could tell if you want to. Yeah, so when I come from a very strong Christian background, and we are Orthodox. So when I was young, when I'm in trouble and I do something bad, or when I haven't studied for an exam or something like that, I would go to church and I would pray for my angel, Angel Michael, and I'll be like, please, Michael, please just help me this time. I promise I'll study the next time, or something like that. Anyways, I had a meeting in the morning. Okay, so the story is I I went to Sweden because one of my friends was struggling. She had gotten married a year before. She got married in 2022, 2021. She got married in 2021, and she got divorced in 2022 because they discovered that she doesn't want kids and he wanted kids. There was a little bit more complication in that, but because of that reason, they decided to divorce. And I went to Sweden to support my friend, to be there for her. And yeah, because they did love each other. It's just that the difference was just too much. So I went to help my friend, to support her. And by that time, I knew what type of man I wanted in my life. So when I was thinking about like, okay, I'm ready right now, I said, I'm not gonna date to date. I knew I was going to date to marry, because I was done with that, like playing games, manipulation and stuff. I just don't have the energy or the time to do it. Um, I knew that I wanted a family-oriented person, who has time for his work, for his career, but at the same time, who has time for a future with his wife, with his, like, I knew what I wanted. I didn't want to sleep around. I didn't want to play manipulative games. I wanted the cards to be clear and open, and I wanted a person who's not perfect, because no one is, but a person who is willing to work on their problems. And when a person who doesn't play text games, I hate those type of things. A person who is willing to buy you flowers, not because they have to, but because they want to, and they want to, I had a list. I knew what I didn't want to tolerate anymore. I said, you know what, I can travel, I can buy myself flowers, like Miley Cyrus, I can do whatever I want. We can even have kids right now. I'm not gonna tolerate anything from a man if he's gonna come in to make me feel bad. So I knew already by that time. So that's why I went back to tell you this. So I'll try to connect the stories. Anyways, I went to Sweden. I was with my friend, and she was struggling a lot of moments of downtime. And she lives in a small town outside of Stockholm, and I had my hotel in Stockholm, so I stayed in Stockholm. I finished my days with her, and I was flying back home. And I was in Stockholm in my hotel room. I had a meeting with one of my colleagues in the morning, and I got up and I had the strangest dream, like the strangest dream. I don't know if it was a dream or just, yeah, I had the strangest dream, and I told my colleague, I'm like, oh my God, today I had the strangest dream. And she says, oh, what did you dream about? Like, I like dreams. And I told her I felt like I was a kid, and I was doing my math exam, and I felt like I was failing, and I started praying to my angel. Like, I felt like I was a kid back at home. And she says, oh, maybe he's just, maybe it's just you need guidance, maybe you just need to pray, maybe you just need to remember your childhood self. She says that to me, and I said, yeah, I was just praying to Angel Michael, maybe I'll just pray, and not to take this into religion or anything. It was just, my guide, my safe place, I guess you can call it that. And she said, maybe you just needed to remember that. Maybe you just needed to remember your inner child. And I said, yeah, probably, maybe. And then we talked about it, and that was it. In the afternoon, I had free afternoon. And so I called one of my other friends from Dalarna, and I said to her, hey, can you please come be with me in the afternoon? And she goes, uh, nah, you have to convince me. I'm like, come on. Like, I don't have to convince you. Like, I have free afternoon. And like, I will even pay for your ticket for you to come. And she goes, okay, if you're paying for my ticket, then I'll take advantage of that. I will meet up with a bunch of people there while I'm there. I'll take the trip. And she was joking, but she actually took advantage of the fact that she was in Stockholm. And that afternoon, I ended up meeting I ended up meeting my now fiance for the first time then. And like he looks at me and he goes, the first thing that he says to me, like, we ended up meeting because of that afternoon meeting with my friend, and he looks at me and he says, do you want kids? And I go, that's a very bold question to ask a person you met for the first time. And remember, I was there because of a divorce between my friend and her husband, her ex-husband, because they didn't want kids or kids. And I said, that's a very bold question to ask the first time. And he says, well, I don't want to waste my time. You're so beautiful. I want to pursue you, but I don't want to waste my time. And I say, okay. And then he asked me to be friends with him on Instagram, and I came back to Italy. He didn't know that. I went back to Italy, and he texted me and he's like, I would really like to take you out. I really like to take you out. And the first thing I said to him, he said something bold and I said something bold. And I said to him, I don't date to date. I am, so if you're taking me out on a date, know that you're going to marry me. I said it with a joke tone, obviously. And then he said, well, where am I going to take you out? When are you free? And I said to him, are you willing to come to Italy? And he goes, wait, weren't you in Sweden like yesterday? And I said, I live in Italy. And if you're willing to put in that effort for the distance, because there is a big distance between Sweden and Italy. And he said, yeah. And then after, I think we talked for 2-3 weeks, and then he ended up showing up for the coffee date in another country. So yeah, I guess the moral of the story is, if you put the right, energy out, and if you know what you really, really, really want, and it will show up. The universe, like, I guess if you have faith in the universe always delivers. So
Mm.
exceptional. So yeah.
That's so beautiful. And I think it's such a great example of clarity. You know, the universe loves clarity. The universe loves when we say exactly what we want. And, but it takes, you know, I mean, it's so easy to say that, but it took 2 years to get clear. And
Mhm.
it took sorting out and dealing with and establishing all other parts of your life to the best of your ability, because obviously things, you know, evolve and change and improve. But such a great example of the power of clarity, because
Yeah.
that it has to be inside first, then outside reflection.
I would tell you how clear the universe went when it comes to this. It was when my mom was coming to a point where she wanted grandkids. She has 3 kids, all 3 of us approaching our 30s. And, she's always been like, hey, when we were young, it's like, never date, don't date, don't date, finish university. And then at some point, with boom, they hit you, when are you going to get married? And like, the culture difference, it's like, give me 2 years.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyways, so I started making jokes at home. I would tell my family, oh, don't worry, guys, I have a boyfriend. We're gonna get married soon. And they're like, a boyfriend? And where it's like, we started playing this imaginary game between my siblings and my mom. And I would tell them his name is Dave. He's blonde and he has blue eyes and he's from the north. And they would be like, yes, is Dave related to Santa Claus? And then we would make jokes. And so one time, just like but this is so funny. I have to say this. One time, so my person's name is Mikael. So that's why I even told you, my guiding angel was Mikael. And
Yes.
yeah, and his name is Mikael. And like not Michael, not anything, but Mikael. So strange.
Yeah.
Anyways, so we were traveling. This is like 6 months after we've been together, and we were traveling to Greece. And this is the first time where we are buying together a plane ticket. So usually it was he was buying his plane ticket, I was buying my plane ticket. And this first time, we're buying our plane ticket together. And I said to him, so hey, I need to register your name. What's your name? Like, can you, do you have, by the way, do you have a middle name? We said that to each other. And he
Yeah.
said, full name is, he goes, my name is Mikael David Nicholson. And I'm like, no.
Wow.
I'm like, I had to actually call my brother and say, like, did we joke about one for a year about a person I was dating? It was like, yeah, his middle name is David.
Oh,
And
wow.
universe went into detail. And I'm telling you, I found out like after 4 or 5 months that we've been together. And I'm like, wow,
Wow.
you
Did you tell
really
him?
don't
Did
choose
you
the
tell him?
name.
Did you tell him that?
Yeah, I told him, and he's like, okay. Yeah, I told him he is, like I said, when I did my list, I really wanted a person who is spiritual or who's open to that. And he
Yeah.
is very open to that. He is, and I tell him everything, and he's like, wow, I'm just so glad to have been manifested. And
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
like,
He's the manifestee.
yeah. But then he says the same thing. He says the same thing to me because he says, I manifested you as well. Because I grew up in a country where I used to tell my mom, I'm gonna marry someone, who is completely different from me, who's brown and who has long hair. And my mom
Yeah.
would be like, uh, Mikey, maybe we should, I don't know where you were going to find that, this is gonna be difficult. Maybe you have to move to Africa because during that time there were not a lot of brown people here
Yeah.
in Sweden. And he's like, I manifested you, and we play back and forth. Like I manifested you, you manifested me. So yeah, he says that as
That's
well.
great. And you had the most romantic engagement. I mean, the
Yeah.
photos were, I mean, I don't know if you want to share that or it's private, because it was very special and very romantic, and a lot of women would have absolutely been blown away. He was very demonstrative in his love and his romanticness
Mhm.
for you.
Yeah. Like I said, I read a lot of historical romances. I don't know if you've ever read, because the movies that we watch, it's usually like every movie that you see is the guy is not interested. He is mean at the beginning. He doesn't want to date her. She's begging, and then in the end, there's the possibility of him go, like even like it's the last 5 minutes where he's running to the airport to get her. Like there's not
Yes,
even a story after that. It's always like it ends with him and then they kiss and then the story ends. And
yes,
so I think we are like this watching one, two, three, four movies that are similar and that are always like that. And don't even get me started on the TV series where
yeah,
the woman is always chasing the man. It just
yeah,
programs your brain to this like I have to fix them. Like you're not even doing it consciously. You're doing it subconsciously. I have to fix,
yeah,
I have to do
yeah,
this, I have to do that. So
yeah,
yeah, growing up like that, I had a terrible image of men. And a lot of historical romances, because historical romances, I don't know if you know, the gender is like basically it's the man pursuing the woman and the man is usually in love. It's like old England
mm,
books. So the man is so in love with the women, they're pursuing them from the beginning to end, and all of the books usually end with like married happily ever after in a big castle. And I read a lot of them. I
mm,
listened to a lot of, it just helped me be in the image, like be in that
yeah,
state. And they help me imagine, you put yourself in the shoes of the woman that is receiving all that love. So like the way it's supposed to be by nature,
mm,
men are supposed to be protective, men are supposed to be loving, men are supposed to be providing and everything, and women are supposed to be, I mean, I'm not saying that we have to follow that tradition, but
yeah,
they're supposed to be protected. Like it's not the women are protecting the man, they're doing everything for the man. They're crying every day for the man, and the man is not doing anything, like he's being
yes,
chased. Like the it's messed up
yes,
out there.
it is.
And
And I think women now are doing too much of the male roles in those initial stages. And I do think if like your guy approaching you and making the comment about wanting kids, you go, hang on a minute, wow, okay, is this guy serious? And it puts you on the back foot because he's approaching you. And then you start thinking, okay, well, hang on, I've just said what I want to the universe. Let me actually explore and see if he's serious, because this is actually matching my list. He's actually given me a glimmer of what I know I've written down. So I can't deny this. I can't just not take this seriously. I need to at least have a look at it.
yeah, yeah, also like, sometimes women say, yeah, when the guy is like this, but I'm not interested in him, there's no chemistry, or they're like, put down your list. There are infinite people out there,
Yeah.
know what you want, because if you don't, honestly, Agnes, like if you don't know what you want,
Mm,
you're just gonna get what you don't want,
yeah.
or you're going to get what other people are getting. Like, for
Yes.
example, if you don't know what you want in a relationship, when your friend complains about her relationship, that's the thing that you're going to be manifesting. That's the thing that you're going to be
Hmm.
getting. I have friends that have experience that come from a beautiful background. The father is loving, the mother is loving. They grew up in this beautiful family, not a dysfunctional family that you would say, but they end up manifesting the worst terrible relationship. And maybe it is something that they have to work on in this lifetime, probably. But then you would say, like, where did they pick this up? It's
Yes.
from other friends, from movies, from
Yeah.
experiences, So
Yeah.
like, prove to yourself. It's so easy to prove to yourself the negative things because we believe them. We believe them to be a reality. But prove to yourself. Like, don't get attached. Don't use your ego. Don't use your body. Don't use your emotions. Like, you know,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
find the right guy. There,
Yeah.
he is out there. He
Yeah.
don't settle down. Don't try to change men. Don't settle
Yeah.
down and everything. And this doesn't mean that manifesting a specific person does not work, or manifestation, like, or calling people into your reality does not work. I'm still a firm believer in, manifesting a specific person. I'm still a firm believer in influencing your reality. You can influence the reality that you have around you.
Yeah.
But if you are taking crumbs, like crumbs, I don't know how to pronounce that, like crumbs, like little crumbs of
Yes.
bread, uh, then don't be surprised when he doesn't show up like the way you don't want him,
Yeah.
So, if you're willing to take him as a bad person, then, then
Yeah.
that's going to be your loop of reality. So,
Yes. And I do think, and this is not because I'm old fashioned at all, but having sex too quick, too fast, it impairs your judgment.
yeah, I mean, there's so many things. I think there's so many things that women should be clear. Like, if it is something that you want, and if it is something that you enjoy, go do it. But
Yes.
if it is like if it is not something that you want, and you end up doing it and not getting what you wanted, then don't be surprised. That's the
Yeah.
problem. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
so I would
Yeah.
say,
I think if two people just want to have sex, then knock yourself out, have sex on the first night, no problem. But if someone is giving sex but they want love, that's when I think they burn their own fingers.
yeah,
And I think it's really, you got to be clear about, do I want just sex or do I want love and sex with the person that I love? Because it's very different, and it's how you approach the whole thing. You will be perceived differently if you are coming firstly from the state of love, and you're looking to share that love with someone else who's loving, and then you get into a relationship where two givers, the relationship, it honestly, it just thrives, it gets better and better, and it makes for the most wonderful relationships.
yeah. Okay. So I'll give you an example. When I met Mickey, he had all of the right cards. Like, he was perfect, and I really, really liked him. But when I said to him, look, I don't date to date. And if he had said, yeah, but I just want to, I just want to see where we go, like, I would have said definitely no.
Yeah.
People would think, oh, it's easier said than done for you now, Mercy, now that you are in a relationship with this. No, I was at a point where I said, you know what? I'd rather that I'm done. I'd rather be single and happy than be in a relationship where I'm wondering if I'm in relationship with this person, and from where I'm wondering if we're going somewhere, where I'm wondering, like, oh, if we're going to see each other this weekend. If not, I
Yeah.
I was done. Like, what's the point of every Saturday you are anxious and you can't wake up and you can't breathe because you
Yeah.
don't know if he's going to contact you this Saturday, or if he's going to
Mm.
be out with his friends. Like, I said, I'm not a very controlling person. I'm very relaxed. I want him to have fun. I want him to have his life. I want him to enjoy life. But at the same time, we have to have our priorities clear. Like,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is not a game. This is co-creation. We're going to be creating reality together. And I don't want someone coming in and, you know, destroying my energy every single time, and I have to
Yeah.
do the work all over again. And I
Yeah.
don't need to create a family that is going to need help, in the
Yes.
future. Like, let's help. Of course, I'm not going to be able to create a perfect family, but the less work that they have to do, the better it
Yeah.
is for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And if you're clear from the beginning that you are on the same page, then that's because I think a lot of the issues that show up is one person's ready to continue going in the relationship and the other person's like, no, I want to go and do this. And the priorities are different. And that's okay to not have the same priorities, but you have to, I think, protect yourself emotionally from the emotional destruction that can cause you if the person is not in the same groove as you on the topic of relationship, commitment, and marriage. Yeah.
Yeah. And another very important thing, like I'm thinking of things that I usually do with my person, is like I want to hear it from him, not from my head, because
Yeah.
my head just goes chada 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 chada. Probably he does the no. I want to hear it from his words, from his mouth. First of all,
Yeah.
I don't assume it. If I'm assuming it, I try to, work on it. Probably it is manifesting from something within me, unless obviously it appears in reality and in my face. But I usually, like, I try not to listen to doubtful thoughts, past experiences, probably like thoughts that can distract the relationship. If there is something that I need to work, I've already told him so many times, and I still remind him, if there is something that you feel like I need to work on, you can tell me, you can word it. But I am done with relationships where I try to fix myself for someone else because I assume I need fixing. So yeah, I'm not gonna do that anymore. If you think I need to talk with a lower voice, you can just tell me, hey Mercy, can you explain this to me with a lower voice? And I will do my best to do that the next time. If you think, hey Mercy, can you leave me Saturday afternoon because I want to hang out with the guys? We've been hanging out too much, you and I will do that. But I am not gonna assume stuff in my head and then try to make your life easy because that makes my life hard. And then I said to him the same thing. And then I will communicate my needs as well because I was very terrible at communicating my needs. I was not good at that. I would wake up in the morning and there are things, for example, that I come from a family of, very close. We wait for each other, eating breakfast, we wait for lunch. My mom takes care of us. Like I come from a very Italian, African family where we are very connected. Where he comes from a very North family where you're 18 and you say bye-bye to your family. And so that was a very big cultural difference. So in the morning, I would like for him to wait for me for breakfast because for me, if he doesn't wait for me while we eat breakfast, my brain interprets that as he doesn't love me. But then I had communicated with him, hey, I appreciate it if we eat breakfast together because it makes me feel loved and it makes me feel, that warmth of the family that I have. And he's like, okay, I'm not a breakfast eater, but if it makes you happy, I'll do. Men do stuff. It's so funny. We think they are these beings that are, you know, they're not. They're
Yeah.
nice and they're gentle. I'm
Yeah.
so emotional saying this because they are very gentle and sweet. And we
Yes.
are these mean people, like, and we
Yeah.
don't communicate our needs and we suffer inside. Well, he
Mm.
doesn't text me. Probably he's out with the, like, no, just
Yeah.
communicate that. Hey, I just need good mornings, please.
Yeah. That's lovely about, I really would like us to have breakfast together. It's a simple thing. And it's, if you grew up in a family where you didn't do that, well, then it wouldn't even enter your consciousness to do that because that's not how you've operated. So yeah, for you to say that, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, no problem. Even if he sits while he has a cup of coffee and you're eating breakfast or whatever, you go, it's our time to start the day together.
Yeah.
That's really nice. Really, really beautiful.
So yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
I said it
Yeah.
all.
That's so wonderful. And yeah, your ring is beautiful and it is a beautiful symbol of
Yeah.
amazing love and amazing communication. It's already started in a beautiful way, but you had to do your work on you to get to that point. It just didn't happen for no reason. It happened through self-reflection, through adjustments, through protecting yourself emotionally. I think when you put your emotional well-being as a priority,
Yeah.
and you get really good at regulating yourself, I think that's when the reflection of the relationship is crystal clear.
you know, and communicating your needs, like I said before, and not, you know, like naming your emotions. That helped a lot as well. You know, right now, currently I'm feeling jealous. Currently I'm feeling frustrated. Currently I'm feeling anger. Currently I'm feeling insecure. And because a lot of things show up, you know, we live in a world with other people and so many things can pop up. And, you know, also being clear, like, for example, like not just in the dating in the beginning, also like within the relationship, you know, when we started, when we even started thinking about like moving in together and stuff, and I told him, I come from a very strict family, like that there are certain things that we have to do before we move in together, or before, you know, there are certain things that you have to show me that, you know, you're going to be, you know, you're going to, you have to show me that you are committed to the next step. I'm not going to do stuff for you, like I'm not. And I did communicate, like, it, marriage is an important thing. I'm not going to, I like, I explained to him a lot of a lot of things that from my background that I would like, for values that I believe. I don't think other people should believe that, but the values that I have, I actually explained to him, hey, these are my values. So I hope we are in the same page. And yeah, before we moved in, there are certain things that we have to do. I would like, you know, full commitment before we start a family. Like, for example, there are girls who are sleeping around with men and like he's not even committed to them. Like, what if a kid like shows up and he's not committed to you and you're going to be now two, and like, are you going to chase that man for commitment? I have like, even in my close groups, girls who get pregnant so that they can keep the man. Like, I'm like in my close group of friends that do that, and this is not me judging, you know, everybody has the right to decide whatever they want to do in life, but it's hard, like, you know, it's hard, like if we are not sharing responsibility, like a bank account, if we're not sharing a home, how are we going to be able to share the growth of a spirit? Like, we're bringing another spirit into this world, like are we
Yeah,
bringing another spirit to like, so
yeah,
even when with everything, and I said to him, look, I told him, this is moving in, that means that you have to show commitment to me and to my mom, because
yeah,
I want my mom to feel like, oh, okay, my daughter is safe.
yes,
I want my mom to see that you are who you really are, you know, this beautiful person that you are. And so like that's, you know, he put everything into consideration. And yeah,
mm,
so like even while in the relationship, and I say the same thing to him as well, you know, what are your values? What are the things that you put first? I will make sure that I will do everything in my power to make those values for you my values. Like, for
yeah,
example, he has values like, for example, he doesn't like, I don't know, nothing comes to mind, but you know, he is very, very strict when it comes to cheating or something like that. It's something that he doesn't want to experience in his life. And I put in the effort to not make him even feel a little bit of that. Like, for example,
yeah,
if if I had guy friends that I used to hang out with one on one, I don't do that anymore. Because it's not because he wants me to stop. I don't want your
no,
viewers to think that he's controlling me. It is because I don't want him, this is something that I don't want to feel. And I don't want
yes,
him to feel that. But it has to be mutual. If he's going
yes,
around hanging out with girls,
yeah,
don't expect that from me as well. I'm not going to do
yeah,
this. Like, it's a mutual commitment. We try not to
yes,
make each other's feel bad feelings.
for
So
sure, for
yes,
sure. And you protect and you take care of that person in that way. I do think there's so many levels to laying a good foundation in a relationship. And I agree with you about, okay, you're marrying me, but I'm close to my mum, and that relationship is one that's going to be ongoing for me, and it will overflow onto you. And my mum was with me for 3.5 months, and my partner, every time we walked out the front door, he would grab her hand and he would walk up the road with her, and I would be there. But I love that he stepped forward with my mum and made her a priority. That to me means the world, because my mum is one of the closest people to me. So, and that he would spend time talking to her, and they would cook together because they have a love of cooking, but they have a relationship separate to me. They really, really love each other. And you can't buy that.
No.
That is priceless. So, when you get all those bits right, relationship with the family, the commitment, then you bring children on top of that.
Exactly.
And you bring a child into a secure system that you started with you, then you added with your mum showed you, and then you keep that going, and then from that, then the commitment, then the engagement, then the marriage, then the children, and then a child. Wow. Imagine growing up in that level of security. You're not going to have anxiety, abandonment issues, and all these other things, because the parents did the right thing and planted the right seeds in the right soil for you to benefit and nurture off. It's profound.
Exactly. No, like a lot. This is something that I notice also a lot of people in my circle that I try to learn from their mistakes is also uh this fear of time is running out and I have to
Yes.
do this fast. I have to, and they force relationships
Mm.
to grow faster and to, try to do. No one is running out of time.
Yeah.
Everybody has their own time to do whatever they want, and uh,
Yeah.
like one person's happiness does not mean it's your happiness. I have done some things in order, some things in complete disorder, and I'm still fine and I'm still functioning. Just because my friend Jessica is pregnant doesn't mean I have to, or just because my friend Veronica has a house doesn't mean I have to.
Yeah.
Or because the other, like, I'm coming into the age where my friends are getting married, they're having kids, and some are still single, dating toxic guys, and some are dating or they're planning to, stay with their. I believe, like, you make your list, stay
Mm.
with your list, believe within your list, script, imagine a
Yeah.
good, like, this apartment where I am has been imagined, this engagement ring has been imagined,
Mm.
everything has been scripted, has been manifested before. I don't get attached, or I don't do it every morning, and I don't read it all the time, but I put
Yeah.
I put the things that I desire into existence. I write down
Mm.
things that I would like to experience. I wanted I wanted an apartment in Stockholm, and I took the steps to manifest that. I
Yeah.
wanted a beautiful engagement, and I I was surprised. He managed to plan all of that with my family. I didn't it I just I would I don't know how to explain it. Like, everybody asks me, "Did you know? Did you know?" I did not know a single thing. He planned the whole thing with my siblings and my mom, nothing, but it is beyond my imagination. I could
Yeah.
not have imagined something beautiful like that.
Yeah.
And it is beyond my
Mm.
imagination.
But what a beautiful uh, developing relationships with them by involving them in it. I just think what a brilliant, beautiful idea of him to do that, and that he could, well, in the process of that, he's showing them his genuine love and complete commitment to you. That's what he's showing them.
But yeah, like, and now hearing about it afterwards, like, he went through a lot of hoops, and like, because you can't even do that uh on a beach. Like, you know, I've always said, you know, when people ask me, hey, where would you want to get married? I always said, like, I like beach weddings, but I don't want to get married like at the beach, because it's just gonna be messy for your clothes
Yeah.
and it's gonna be too hot. But I've always said that, and he said, if you liked beach weddings, maybe we're not gonna have our wedding there, but you can have like a beautiful engagement there. And he actually thought of that. And it is impossible to do that in Italy, because there are like a lot of laws that he had to, you know, talk to a lot of people. So they have, I actually started thinking about, I actually talked about this, like with the same colleague that I told you about, you know, I said to her, you know what, it would be nice, you know, to get married at this specific place, which I think I don't want to spoil alert that, but
Yeah.
you know, it would be nice to get married at this place. And she's like, oh, would you like to get married? And I'm like, yeah. I would like to get engaged before I move in with him, because I feel like that's the natural step. And she said, and it would show, like, you know, his commitment. He's fully like committed.
Mm.
And we were talking about that, and she goes, wow, that's nice. And so I was thinking about that, and like it's just so amazing how he managed to do that at the beach. It's just
Mm.
beautiful. Like he was, yeah. And then he built a very big relationship with my brother, especially because my brother grew up being the man of the family. So
Yeah.
he's very strict, and yeah, he was very happy. But like I said, you know, like, I started thinking about engagement around May, maybe May. And then I actually talked to my colleague about it, and I told her, oh, it would be super nice. Sorry, I got a
It's
few.
okay. It's okay.
It would be super nice to, you know, to have that opportunity. And she said, wow, okay. Like, and then it happened in July, and I actually said to her, it would be nice for it if it happens before I move in together with him. You know, we were already looking at apartments and stuff. So like, and then she said to me, Mercy, you have like this superpower. You could tell, like, you told me you met him before, and then you told me you were going to get engaged before you get her. And I said to her, like, I didn't know. She's like, no, I'm convinced that you knew. And like, your nails were beautiful. And I said, my mom forced me. I had terrible nails that day. My mom actually kicked me out of I didn't have an appointment. I had dark pink phosphorescent,
Yeah.
like ugly nails, like 16-year-old nails, which I
Yeah.
think is cute for summer, but not for engagement.
Mm.
And I had those nails, and my mom actually kicked me out of the house saying, you're not going to wear those nails today, because they told me there was an event that I had to go to. And she said,
Okay.
go get an appointment. She said, there was an event of my brother's girlfriend parents were going to celebrate their 30 years anniversary.
Okay.
That was what I was told. And I'm like, mom, it's okay. I'll hide my nails. Like, it's just an anniversary. She's like, go get your nails done. I didn't even have a clue.
Even with that, yeah.
Even then, I was like, I was so frustrated because I didn't have time that day. And I had to
Yeah.
book an appointment for my nails. And my nail person is just, you know, I only trust her to do my
Yeah.
nails. So I had to beg her and, you know, tip extra just to get those nails done. And
Yeah.
and my
But your
friend is
mum
like,
knew what was coming.
I know. And and people say, you knew, Mercy. I didn't know. I actually started, you know, thinking about manifesting. I actually scripted about it, engagement and stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't want a long relationship, like 4-year,
Mm.
5-year relationship. I liked it, you know, to be as short
Yeah.
as from a year
Yeah.
to 2 years, because
So
he
let me
meant,
ask you, from when you met him to May when you started the thinking about an engagement, how long is that time period?
so we met at December. Okay, December. No, we started talking in December. We met in January. After
2023, 2024?
2023. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, 2023 December, like 2023 December, we met.
Yeah.
2024 January, we started talking. We met in person, like in person for a
Yes.
full date in January. Uh, then we met again. I went to Sweden this time, and he's like, as a joke, he said, "Hey, let's get your ring size." And I'm like, after 1 month? And he goes, "Yeah, yeah, let's get your ring size." And I'm like,
Wow.
joking, no, like, let's not joke around. And he said, "No, no, like, let's just get your ring size, like, just to know, so I know, like, I'm not gonna use it now after 4 years." We go in, this is after 2 months we met, 2 months. We went into a jewelry shop and I got my ring size. And I looked at rings and I said, "Boy, you have to work hard if you want to buy a ring here." And we made a joke. I didn't even know how, like, I made a joke like that. I didn't even know
Yeah.
him money, or I didn't know him that well. But we were
Mm.
walking around shopping, and then that is in, I think, February, March. That's when I met his parents as well. The first time
Okay.
he introduced me to his parents after 3 months. Yeah, the flowers were blooming. Uh then after that, from March, and then December, so that's 1 year where this is his side of the story, it's not mine. So December, he actually went to England to order the ring. He got the ring in
Oh,
England. So and then from December till they had a certain time, because it was personalized ring, so they had a certain time to do it, like 2 months or 3 months. And then he started planning it. Like, it took them 3 months to get the engagement, all of it ready. And
mm.
clueless me, I started thinking about this, like, so it took him a year, like, for sure, to just go and shop for the ring.
Yeah.
And while on my side, I started thinking about it, and I started thinking about exploring, because a lot of people, my older sister has been together with her with her now fiance, which she got engaged. And this is something that I want to tell: when you manifest engagement, everyone around you is going to get engaged. My older sister, they have been together for 3 years, and they were not engaged. And so people were starting to talk, like, they've been together for 3 years. What's going on? What's going on? And so when people started talking about that, I said, you know what? I'm gonna manifest an engagement. I would like to experience that. I would like to get married soon.
Yeah.
It is something that I would like to experience in this lifetime. So I talked about it. I started talking about where I would want to have the wedding, how I would want to have the wedding. I went to specific places with specific people, and these people told, I'll tell the story when everything happens. But these people told me specific stories, and I said, yeah. And then that would be around May. And, like, sometimes this is, like, to tell people how, like, for your viewers, when they have doubts. Sometimes I had a lot of doubts. I would say, no, we're buying everything for the new apartment, it's too expensive, it can't
Yeah.
happen. Like, I had so many doubts, like I had doubts, not that didn't come from him, doubts that came from me. Like, what if he
Yeah.
doesn't want to? What if I'm just
Mm.
this? I had normal
Yeah.
classical doubts
Yeah.
when he scripted about it. And yeah, but silly me, he was already doing it many months ago. I don't know if I changed reality. I have no idea. You can change, a revision can change a lot of things in the past and the future. I don't know,
Yeah.
but I did find out that he had already been planning it way before.
Way before. Wow, that must be something else for your mum. Two of her children getting married. Like, that's massive, isn't it?
I think it is a manifestation for my mom, because
It is.
my mom has always kept us to herself. Like,
Yeah.
she loved us so much. She had always kept us to herself, and she had always tried to make sure that we had all the tools that we needed to protect ourselves in the outside world, with all the power that she had. She
Yeah.
and with everything that she was told, you know, she was told education is important, so you have to give that to your kids, and she made sure we had that.
Yeah.
And she, you know, she told us, not like my mom has always said, you know, 50-50 with a man, never be under a man, like, you know.
Yeah.
And so she kept us to herself a lot. And then she started saying, maybe like me protecting you too much was not a good thing. And she was starting to freak out, be anxious a lot, saying, oh my God, my daughters are not gonna get married. You know, you arrive at
Yes.
an age, your aunties start talking and stuff, and she was starting
Mm.
to freak out. And she said, I remember this. It was her birthday, and that it was a year after my sister got a boyfriend, her boyfriend, and she was dating her person. And on her birthday, my mom, she was told to make a wish before you blow out your candles. And she blew out her candles, and she looked at me and she said, "This one's for you." This was in September, and in December I met Vicky. And so now she has all three kids moving out, because even my brother, like, she thought he was going to be with her forever. He bought a house and he's moving out. My sister is moving out, and I'm moving out. Now she's freaking out that we're moving out.
You got to watch what you wish for. That's so cute.
We're trying to calm her down, saying, you know, you can live in 3 countries.
Yeah.
You can go to America, because my sister's fiance, he's from America. So you can go
Yeah.
to America. You can
Yeah.
come, you can stay in Italy with Nathan, and you can come
Yeah.
to us. And so now she's like freaking out.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
So, wow, that's beautiful. It's just such a beautiful story. And it's not just about you and him, it's a whole family story. It's the
yeah.
whole structure of the beautiful foundation that your mum created for all of you. It's fabulous. It really is. I think your mum's given you something wonderful to pass on to your next generation, your kids.
I hope so. I really hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, can you show us the ring one more time? Because I know the ladies will love to see it. It is beautiful. It looks so beautiful on your skin. That choice of a ring is beautiful on you.
Yeah, he
Stunning.
did good. He
You
did a
did, and
really,
you didn't
really
even
good.
have any input into it. It's amazing that a man can pick out a ring that is beautiful because I mean, that's something a man will only do probably once in his lifetime.
Yeah, I mean, we like when we went in to get my ring size, which is like about 2 years ago, about a year and a half ago, uh, we were looking at like small rings. This is a ring that my mom got me when I was little, and we were looking at rings this size.
Yeah.
But like when I imagined my ring when I was a kid, when I imagined my ring, I had always said, I don't want a classical circle ring. That would just make me, I'm
Yeah.
sorry if my aunts look at this, I would say like that would just make me look like my old aunt. I would like something different. And I'm sorry
Something
if my sister sees this, because her ring is beautiful and it's circle. And I used to always say that, like in my head and sometimes out loud. But like the ring he did on his own, he shopped on his own. No one helped him. He After he bought the ring, he organized with my family even. Like, in fact, my mom was worried, and my mom asked him, "Hey," so like so many times, my mom told me, like when he was planning it, I asked him, "Can you show me the ring?" And he said, "No, she has to see the ring first. It's her ring."
Oh,
Even a lot of family members from his side asked him, how much did you buy the ring? Where did you buy the ring? Can we see the ring? And he said, it's her ring,
yeah.
and she's gonna see it first. So I was
Yeah.
the first person to see it being opened, after,
Wow.
obviously.
On the beach, that beautiful, wonderful engagement that you had. Oh, it's very special. He's a very giving and thoughtful human being.
He really is. He really is. That's
Mhm.
why I always tell to girls, don't settle. Even
Yeah.
within your specific person,
Yeah.
don't settle. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't wanna destroy people's dream, because sometimes people can be, strong-hearted, and my sister is a strong-hearted, and she got her engagement from the person that she wanted, that from the person that she loved, she
Yeah,
chose.
yeah,
It didn't have to be a story that happens like mine. I ended up meeting the right person because I was in the right state. You could end up meeting a person when you were in a bad state. It could happen.
yeah.
But don't settle even within your person. Like, they
Mm.
have the potential, because we see their potential when you break up with them and they are with another woman. You see the potential and you're like, what? Like,
Yeah,
no, don't settle down even with your person. If your person is not putting in, the 100% work that they're supposed to be putting in, they have to be equal as a new person. They have to be treated equal. So
yeah,
don't give special treatments. It's that special treatment that keeps them in the,
yeah.
she's always going to be around. So why put it?
Yes, yes,
So
that's
don't
right.
settle. Don't settle for new
Mm.
people. Don't settle for your specific person.
Yeah, yeah, it really doesn't matter. And it starts with self-respect, then it shows up as being respected on the outside.
Yeah.
Ah, what wow, wow, so wonderful. And it's so good because I've known you for a while and we've, had conversations and over the years and interviews, and I will put your other interviews down below so people can actually see the progression of, they're seeing this today, but then there's the backstory of what was going on then. And I think it's so great for people to be able to see that hope and the glimmer of what they could also, like, listening to a success story, it shows others, as it has for many, this is possible for me.
Yeah.
And but yes, there is a lot of inner work that goes on before these things occur, and I'm so glad you shared the mechanics of how it all unfolded for you.
Mhm.
So do you want to say any last words before we sign off?
Uh, don't get angry for the boundaries that you didn't set. That's number one. And number two, you don't have to believe, you just have to have faith.
Mm.
Because people want to feel that feeling of belief. I believe this, so it's gonna happen. No,
Yes.
you have to believe, you have to have faith in the universe. The
Yeah.
universe is so
Mm.
powerful.
That's it.
So powerful. It's
Yeah.
unexplainable, the power that the universe has.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything will align the way you want it. The things that you used to say when you're a kid, they will happen now, but they will
Mm.
happen in the most natural way. They will not
Mm.
happen in a magical way. Don't expect it in a way that you think. Don't expect it
Mm.
in a text. Don't expect it in a word that a person says, I'm in relationship with you. They always happen in the most natural way. Even
Yeah.
if they seem magical, they always happen in the most natural way. So
Yeah. And the universe, all it needs from us is the clarity.
yeah, the clarity and the
Mm.
belief behind.
Mm.
Yeah, the faith behind, more than belief, the faith behind,
Mm.
like the faith that you have in the universe,
Yes.
than fear. So
Yeah. And that's something you can keep developing as you get older, more experiences where it shows you it worked out, that you got what you wanted, that things were possible, and then you relax more. You have more confidence in that relationship that you have with the universe or God, whatever word you prefer.
yeah,
So, yeah. All
something
right.
that
Yeah, go ahead.
no, some things that we even believe are magical and crazy, they will always show up in the most natural way,
Mm.
like here on the 3D. Like, I remember when I was a kid, because I used to go to school that was, sponsored. I used to go with soccer players, and they had
Mhm.
sponsored jumpers, and my mom could afford only two. I used to sleep, like, imagine myself sleeping, having this machine. I would go inside and I would come out with different jumper every single day. Now, it didn't manifest as a closet, but it manifested that I have a contract with, a very big jumper company, and now I can change my jumper. So it will always, always happen. It will always come true. Just have a little faith, even if it seems like it's the most crazy and bizarre thing. People have imagined flying. It didn't happen that we fly like this, but we invented stuff that like in the most natural way. It will
Yeah.
happen. Just believe it. So,
That's it. Wonderful. Thank you,
you're
Merci.
welcome.
Thank you, everyone, for joining. I will put the links to the other interviews down below, and I hope you enjoyed this discussion. And I will say see you later and see you in the next YouTube as always. Lots of love, everyone.